What's the message to the guys after a moment like that?
Pretty embarrassed by it. I thought it was selfish play, selfish penalties. It ain't about you. It's about the team. And we ain't even close to being there. We don't know how to not lose games. Not about winning games, not losing games. We have more penalty yards than our freaking offense. So I told those guys, someone's going home tomorrow. Some heads are rolling. I ain't putting up with that stuff no more. We got one of our guards that's 280 pounds. I don't know what he did all offseason.
Damn!
Can they take the lead on this drive?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central. CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And we have a bit of an interesting video coming out as, Rick, this is news that kind of shocked the CFL. This was really out of nowhere. As the Ottawa Redblacks, this was just completely out of left field, have snagged Ryan Dinwiddie, head coach of the Toronto Argonauts. And he is now the head coach and GM of the Ottawa Redblacks. Ottawa doing a clean house and have already started bringing in, it looks like, some new pieces. And he was still under contract with Toronto. However, there was a clause in his contract that if he was offered essentially a promotion, something like this, that he would be able to walk out of that contract early and take something like this. So this is a big move for the Redblacks. Now, one thing I do want to mention before we get right into it is, firstly, leave a like on the video, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't already. But then also, we have actually, we had a Discord from a while ago, but we've recently kind of gotten it active again. We're trying to get it going, building an NHL sports CFL community on there. So make sure that you guys check out the link in the description and join our Discord channel. Seriously, we want as many of you joining as possible to kind of keep the conversation going and keep that community going as we're building a fantastic community there where everyone can just talk about sports and all that sort of stuff. So make sure you guys join that down below. But with this move by the Redblacks, I'm not going to lie. Firstly, I really like this move for Ottawa. And I will say, if you're Toronto, I am not happy about this. This is now your second kind of big coach that you've lost recently with, of course, Corey Mace just a couple years ago, who left as defensive coordinator to become the head coach of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and he's having a ton of success there while doing it. And now Dinwiddie, who had been kind of a crucial piece in winning the two Grey Cups that you did against Winnipeg, now going over to Ottawa. And so now the Argos, it's funny, they're the boatmen, but now there's nobody at the helm. You know what I mean? There's no one steering the ship. And so there's a lot that can come from this. Rick, what do you think about kind of this whole ordeal?
So this news, I will say, probably broke around 3:30 Wednesday afternoon. And when I first messaged Carter's like, "What? Seriously?"
I was like, "Wow!" Like that. I had no suspicion that because I was thinking he's under contract, but then I was like, I didn't realize that Ottawa was going to give him this big offer. Like, yeah, hey, good on Ottawa,
So there's a thing in the CFL that if you're under contract, you can still get permission from teams to interview people. Now, regardless if that interview takes off or not, may not, but you never know. So there was rumblings around 2:00 from a few people that says that there's some big rumors going around, from some sources and everything, should be out within the next hour. So I'm like, okay. Next, I look at John Hodge, Justin Dunk, Dave Naylor, all on Twitter, because obviously I have my phone right beside me. Yeah. Next, I see Ryan Dinwiddie's heading to Ottawa. And I thought to myself, why would he go to Ottawa if it's just the exact same thing? So then when I first saw the article a few weeks ago, I'm like, well, the only way that I could see him leaving Toronto is if he got the GM and head coach job. Didn't think
or if he got like
a
boatload of money
or a promotion or something. So
some sort of other advantage besides just what he had.
That's that's part of it. Now, according to Shinetti, he was saying that clearly Ryan Dinwiddie was not confident with the Argos' plans, and Burke and the Ottawa sold him on a vision. Ryan Dinwiddie is the most consistent Argos head coach for some time, and now the Argos are searching for his replacement. So now, keep in mind, Ottawa, the only Carter, if you can pull up that spreadsheet just so that I can explain it to you, the one that I sent you.
Yep.
If you go down to the different tab at the bottom to the right of tracker where it says coaches.
Yep.
Okay. So the only coach that is still under contract with Ottawa is William Fields, who was the defensive coordinator or co-defensive coordinator 2 years ago. Tommy Condell does not have a contract. Rick Campbell does not have a contract, or any of the other assistants. Now, the other interesting thing that I found out tonight, according to John Hodge and 3 Down Nation, is that there was a clause in the contract of Ryan Dinwiddie that if he got a job anywhere other than Toronto, all of the contracts for Toronto for assistants would now make them free agents.
For coaching
so
staff. They would essentially void the other contracts. Now, I will say, firstly, smart clause to have in the contract, as from a coaching perspective, and this is true not just of football, but also of, and maybe even more so of hockey, where each coach that is a head coach, they have the coaches they like. They have the coaches that they're kind of like, we work well together. The systems that I have, they implement them well. They share the same vision. You know what I mean? You want if you're a head coach, you want your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator to have the same vision, the same idea of where this football team is going and exactly how they're going to get there. So it makes sense that he wanted that clause in the contract with Toronto, so that way if he gets an opportunity, which obviously he did, he's now in Ottawa, he's not limited being like, well, I usually like having this guy as my OC and DC, but I can't have them because they're still stuck under contract. So with that kind of void put into there, he really gave himself the freedom to now to have whoever he wants. He's able to easily take a job like this and not have to think, crap, well, this guy is stuck under contract, I can't have him. It's not a problem for him. So smart negotiating.
The other few things that I was going to mention was that Ryan Dinwiddie pretty much wanted more say on how his team was constructed.
Yeah.
With Michael Pinball-Clemens as the GM of Toronto and John Murphy there, you really didn't have much of that. And now Sean Burke's going from GM to VP of operations, and now Ryan Dinwiddie now has a GM job and head coach, which I wasn't a big fan of the two hats, but I mean, it is what it is. The big elephant in the room now is, what does Toronto do? Because not only, like we were talking off camera, Ryan Dinwiddie's contract's a 3-year contract until 2028. So you have 2026, 27, 28.
You're talking about the one in Ottawa, or?
Yes. The one in Ottawa is a 3-year deal.
Okay, that's good.
Now, with what he's done with Bo in Calgary, Chad Kelly in Toronto, along with Nick Arbuckle, do you think maybe he can do that with Drew Brown in Ottawa?
Is Drew Brown still under contract?
Drew Brown's still under contract. Drew Brown is the only quarterback in Ottawa that's still under contract.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is that a guy like Chad Kelly, I like from what I've heard, he is very close with Dinwiddie. So I'd be curious if there was ever a way he would end up there. Now, of course, there'd be a lot that would have to happen for that. Like, it's not like he could just simply sign there. There's shit that would have to happen regarding that. But
here's my thought on that, because I know I explained this to you earlier.
Yeah, I don't want to go into it too much, but we'll definitely.
No.
touch
I'm just
on it,
going to
yeah.
explain the quick few things,
Yeah.
and that's it. Is in order for Chad Kelly to leave Toronto, only one of two things can happen, or one of three, maybe four things can happen. Gets traded, which I can't see him going to Ottawa because it would be a PR nightmare. They release him. They won't release him because part of his salary would count towards the salary cap.
Yep.
Place him on the 6th game for the season, or you play him. Those are the only 4 options that you have.
Yeah. No,
But where I was going just before I wanted to finish up, that is, with Toronto, not only do you have to fill a head coach position, but now you have to also fill an OC position.
Yeah. I will say at least the good news with that is if you're filling a head coach position, usually that you already have an idea with that who's going to be your offensive and defensive coordinator. Again, simply because of head coaches kind of having that level of influence. The big question is who this could be, you know? I mean, if we're looking at Toronto, obviously, so there's been a lot of rumors about who would be. And so kind of one of the first ones that everyone's talking about, it's the photo on the headline. It is Mike O'Shea in Winnipeg. And I'm not going to go into it too much. I have a lot of doubts about, now I'm not saying it's not possible, about O'Shea to Toronto, as I believe there's just a lot of things that would need to align for that to happen. But it also was bound to be, fan theories were going to happen regardless of it, simply because of his connections to Toronto. And it is true that he does retain a relationship and a close relationship with Michael Clements, the GM of the Toronto Argonauts. So that is one possibility, even though I personally have my doubts and my reasons for that. In this John Hodge article that you had sent me, Rick, is it okay if I kind of go through some of these? I see that
So
Byron.
just while you do that,
Yeah.
there was actually 3 names that they brought up earlier from the article.
Okay. What were the 3?
Well, I mean, other than the big one that you've mentioned.
Yeah.
One would be Jarius Jackson, who is with
Winnipeg
Blue Bombers.
He's a quarterbacks coach currently of the Bombers, although, of course, he was the interim head coach of the Edmonton Elks after Chris Jones was fired, right?
Yeah, there's the Mark Mueller.
Mark Mueller is the one that I've actually
Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
That's the one that I've been hearing a lot, is Mark Mueller. Yeah.
And there is also because there's 2 Mike Millers in the league. I'm assuming that it's the special teams coach in Saskatchewan. I don't think that it would be the one with Toronto.
That's not what it's listed here in the John Hodge article.
Is it the one from Toronto?
Yes, it is. The native of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, has been the quarterbacks coach of the Argos since 2022, helping Chad Kelly win most MOP in 2023. And Arbuckle reached all new career highs in 2025. The 55-year-old spent 8 seasons in the NFL, serving as an offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals for 2 years. Given his experience and how well he's worked with teams' QBs, it wouldn't be a surprise to see Miller get a promotion to head coach. Because that's the thing. As much as he's the QB coach, it's not like he's never been an OC before. He was for the Arizona Cardinals. So I could see him being a likely pick. So him and kind of and Mark Mueller, simply because I've been hearing a lot about Mark Mueller.
The other person that maybe I can't really see much, but it's just throwing it out there. Mickey Donovan, the special teams coach.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If Ryan Dinwiddie was smart, because all the Toronto coaches are without contracts, he would bring Mickey Donovan to Ottawa, and just think of what Mickey Donovan can do with Pimpleton and Dedman.
Yeah.
Also, did you see the name above the article, above Mike Miller's name? The interesting name that they have listed. That would be Chris Jones.
No.
Former Tiger
Yeah, Chris Jones. Yeah, because believe it or not, Chris Jones has become a more appealing option after seeing the disaster that's forming in North Carolina.
One last.
Imagine if Bill Belichick. Imagine if Belichick comes up because of how much because he's probably getting fired from North Carolina from just the way that North Carolina's just shit the bed in college football. They had all this hope, expectation, and it's just gone. And college football coaches have a very, very short leash on them, as college football is just so much more of a different game than professional football. And so, because of the recruiting process, to be honest. So, but anyways, we're not going to get into that because that's not part of this video.
Two quick points is a lot of these names on here, they're just throwing a friggin' dart at a dartboard.
This is true. I mean, they're naming 15 guys for one job. You're going to do that a bit.
Yeah. Also, whoever Toronto names has to be a ballpark hit. Because now you have to build up that relationship with the fans. Then you have to bring in a new playbook, depending on who your offensive coordinator is.
Yes.
Then your team has to learn a new offense. That's why when we were talking off camera, it would not surprise me come next year if you saw both Hamilton and Montreal, either Montreal 1, Hamilton 2, or Hamilton 1, Montreal 2 next season.
Yeah. Because
there's two organizations. Because Dinwiddie won't wear 3 hats. I can't see him wearing 3 hats because they're still paying Bob Dice for next year. So it will be interesting to see who he brings in on his coaching staff, who Toronto brings in, because you also have to remember, like you said at the beginning of the video, Toronto is having their camp at Guelph. Again, it's not 100%, but it has been in the past, so I'm thinking they probably will. Then you have them going on the road for probably till July, August.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't have, unless you have those diehard Argo fans that go to like the away games, you can't build that relationship with your fans.
Yeah.
So.
Well, is there anything else that you got there?
Oh, one other thing about the whole matching contract and everything. So just this last point, it's Dave Naylor tweeted out that it was my understanding that Toronto were expecting to have a chance to match counter what Ottawa was offering Ryan Dinwiddie and GM head coach role. However, he accepted the role without circling back with the Argos. But at the same time, it's okay. Well, if you ain't gonna give me this.
Did they not read the fine print of their own deal that they made? Like, you probably should have.
It's not that. No, it's not that. It's if he wants a head coach and GM job, Pinball's not stepping down.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying if Toronto really was considering that, then that should have been a clause in the contract. But obviously it wasn't because he's in Ottawa now.
Yeah.
That they retain the right to match it, but
they
didn't.
Let's just say a lot of Toronto fans are bringing up the whole, this is what new Rogers management's like now, eh? Because Rogers are the only owners of Toronto now, and not Rogers and Bell.
Yeah. Well.
So, time will tell.
Anyways, so thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of all this. Again, make sure you guys leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And again, make sure you guys join the Discord. All sorts of sports stuff down there. Keep the conversation going there. Link in the description. And yeah, appreciate you guys tuning into the video. Peace, love, and positivity, all you wonderful people at home, and we will see you guys next time.